There it is.
There we go. Our old familiar music for the Chips and Salsa Show in New Mexico.
Some sane music in an insane time.
Yeah, we need something to calm us down, don't we?
Yeah, it's great. It's getting, it's getting beyond the scope of what I was mentally prepared for. I always knew things were going to be getting nuts, but every single day, it's accelerating. It's accelerating. Welcome. Join us. Thank you for joining us. Alice has to go out of town this weekend, so we're doing another show with some live updates, some exclusive live updates as a result as well. So we wish you a safe trip this weekend.
Thank you so much. I'm actually going to be in Arizona, but I can't stay for the funeral, unfortunately. But
Darn.
The spirit will be there, I am sure. I am certain about that. Last time we did the show, I was remembering that we got to meet Charlie Kirk, and we did a tour of the facility, of the Turning Point USA facility, and we did find the pictures. So that happened, we figured out. Steve and I got on our phones and said, "Oh, you know what? It's going to be on our phone." We probably texted the pictures to each other. January 2021. And what's really cool, and I posted them on, is it's me, Don Jorge, and Steve Palmer is with us. And Steve's like at the end, and whoever took this picture did such a good job, because right above Steve's right shoulder, it's a picture of Charlie with some flags, and it's almost like he's our little guardian angel. It's really cool. So,
yeah.
I'm still, trying to absorb a lot of this. And now with, like you say, there's breaking news. It just brings you right back in. It really does. So update us, see, because I don't know what's going on.
It did look suspect to me. I didn't want to talk too much about it until I saw more evidence. But yeah, apparently from a very credible source, there was a second shooter. They got video of a muzzle flash coming from about 700 or 70 yards away on a second story somewhere. I think it was like in a parking garage or maybe somewhere in the area.
What is a muzzle flash? I'm sorry.
So you can see where the gun shoots from like a window from behind him, and the bullet. If you see the entry when it does come from behind, and if you look at the size of the exit hole, people were like, "Well, that must have been a big bullet to have that big of an entry point." Bullets don't usually have that big of an entry point, so it makes a lot more sense to have the exit wound come out that way. And what they're speculating is that they use, because if you think about it, it's a perfect type of assassin. These MK Ultra guys, because they're getting this. A lot of people programmed through the media, through the culture, through the schools. And so they'll just willy-nilly do this stuff on their own. And in that space, the more professional guys can come in and do a hit with a professional, hitman. And that's a common tactic that they do. Everything about it is so suspicious. I don't like the way the FBI has responded to it. I don't like fully how President Trump's responded to it. I wish we had more swift, immediate action. As soon as we found out that there was other people in the LGBTQ online group that they were participating in, that they were bragging about him dying on this day, they had access to the knowledge that there was a potential assassination and they didn't report it. Those guys are an accessory, those aiding and abetting. They should have kicked those doors down immediately. Look what they did to the Jan 6ers. Look what they do to conservatives these days right now. They're still swatting a bunch of these conservative influencers online. Look what they did to Rudy Giuliani. I mean, we can go on and on about, and Roger Stone, they go in and harass us for when we don't do nothing. We're not even doing anything, and they kick the door down. We found people that are actually doing something, and the door is still intact. Their door should not be intact. They should be tried. They should be getting ready to go to jail, get a fair trial. And so I'm not happy with what's going on, guys. I'm not happy.
Zeke, so do you think, and I totally understand that, and I think we talked about it in our last show, but there are so many things going on, and it's still a swamp. It's such a big swamp. I'm talking like this because I can't hear myself very well, so hopefully you guys can hear me.
Oh, yeah.
But it's such a big swamp, and I agree, because these things keep coming out. And we want to have confidence and faith in, especially Trump. And I want to cut him some slack, okay? And even Kash Patel, Patel and Bongino are in there. We got the guys that we want in there. But man, they gotta show us that at least that something is happening. It is very frustrating and concerning.
Well, we can't show too much. We can't show any fear. If you got the power of the Lord with you and you got God with you, there is no fear here. However, I am concerned, and I think I understand what's going on, because on a micro level, here locally, politically, and throughout the state, the swamp is so thick, guys. It's on both sides of the aisle. It's on people who aren't involved with either of the parties. Look at these LGBT guys. You think they were registered Democrats and they went to fundraisers and they walked for Democrat campaigns? No, they're outside that world. And so we have a bunch. It's just so inundated. And Elon Musk had mentioned this before, that, look, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast and he said, look, if we started to go after even like a fraction or some of these people, like in Mass A, we would destroy the country and the world would be a totally different place because it just
they're so entrenched.
There's so many of them involved with corruption and then just deceiving the people. And really, it's just going after the people that are we the people, the middle class America, the people who have the sophistication to know that we do have rights, the veterans, the pro-life people. They have a plan to get rid of us because we're the last stand in the whole world that's championing human freedom. So all these organizations are against people like me, people like Alice. And we're not going to stop. I mean, we didn't have to even say anything. We just started doing more work naturally because we saw what happened to Charlie. And how you been feeling, Alice? I am obviously moved by it, and I don't really want to talk about it too much outwardly because I'd rather do with my actions and my words. But I'm curious about how you're feeling.
Well, especially I was so inspired with Erica and her speaking about her husband. I mean, it took a lot of strength, and I think it's when she was up there, I thought she probably is just saying, "I have to do this. This is what Charlie would want me to do." And she inspired people to just keep on and even stronger. And I think even other people come out. And what's still happening is they're still doing, in television and broadcasting, these people who are happy that he died and are even like, "Oh, it's great." They're dancing around about it.
There's so many of them.
Again, like we talked on our last show, that's okay because tell us who you are. The American people need to know about this fight between evil and good. And they don't believe you when you say, "Oh yeah, there's some people like that." Yeah, there are. And they're happy to do their own little selfies and their live streams and like, here I am. And I'm so proud that I feel the way that I do, and I am. So it's inspiring me to just get busy, which you and I have always been that way.
That's right.
Because we really believe in the conservative movement. We think conservative beats out the Marxist movement and the left, the hard left, okay? And again, I always like to clarify because there's probably a lot of people that watch us. You're still a registered Democrat, and you're probably not as far left as they are. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't even be watching our program.
Right.
Or you'd be complaining more about us.
They're spying.
Yeah, you might be spying. That's true. But I'm encouraged. We got to keep praying. And like we say, don't be a worrier. You got to be a warrior. Because you know what? There isn't really time to worry. There's time just to kind of get focused, elect good people. We've got some good people running locally, like Christina that we just interviewed. And if you can focus on your local elections, there was somebody, you watch Gutfeld?
I don't. A little bit here. And I'm a fan. I do.
Familiar.
I've been seeing some clips of him. He's been saying some badass stuff lately. I know that.
He had a fantastic monologue yesterday, and there was a gentleman on there who was, I believe he was a Green Beret. I was going to say Navy SEAL, but I think it was Green Beret. And he was saying just that. He said, it's time. You've got to get engaged. You're very good about that, speaking about that. Yeah. Get engaged. Go to your school meetings. Find out what's going on with your kids. You just can't be detached anymore because there's just too much going on. And then now with AI and technology and everything happening, you can't be a hermit anymore. If you want to, I can't stop you. This is America. Do what you got to do. But this country is worth saving. Your community is worth saving. And thank you for watching the show and supporting us and sharing it, because I think together we can be a part of it. We can't do it alone anymore. We can't. We never have been able to.
No, and I'm for me spiritually, and I'm just saying this in case I'm needing to inspire someone else, but spiritually, I am fully converting back over to the Catholic Church.
I'm so happy about that.
I was born Catholic. She is. I can't deny the fact that some of the people that I respected the most in my whole life are surrounded by me, and I'm surrounded by hardcore Catholics. And I mean hardcore in like the most spiritual way. Like these people go to mass and they do their prayer, they do their confessions. And I used to be like that. I turned from the church. My life was never more miserable than when I turned away from the church. In fact, I went a little bit atheist when I was in college. In college, they indoctrinate you so bad. It's Marxism and atheism. That's what they got for you, straight up. I was in school for almost 10 years. I can tell you firsthand. But now, later in my life, I'm going to be going to confession this weekend, and praise the Lord, praise God, praise Jesus.
Praise God is so right. I'm so happy for you. And on that, I just watched a clip, and it was Jesse Romero, our good friend. He's the Catholic evangelist out of Arizona. Yeah. And he was on with his buddy Terry. And they were talking about how Charlie Kirk, he was like going to the, and I'm not, he wasn't Catholic.
He was about to go to the Catholic side.
Getting there. He was going to church. And when they'd ask him about Catholicism, one of the things that I remember in an exchange that he had is he was, I don't know if struggling is the right word, but he was trying to understand. A lot of people don't, especially Protestant side, the reverence, of Virgin Mary and the way that that we see as an intercessor and things like that. But yeah, I mean, he was just right there on the edge. So it might be responsible for bringing more people back to Catholicism.
If you do your research, that's where it all ends up. That's where all the power is. And the government, if you want to, because when you're over the target, they come after you, right? Well, they've been going after, and I know this person is another motivating factor to go back to the Catholic Church is that they've been attacking liturgical Latin masses, Catholic Latin masses, because that's where the power's at. And a lot of the guys that I know and respect go to those types of deals. I mean, seriously. And so look, that's my personal spiritual journey. It means a lot to me. And this is a spiritual battle. The main reason I brought that up, because this is spiritual warfare. You saw that with Charlie Kirk. I've been dealing with it personally in my life because I'm so entrenched in politics here. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. I can see where people are you can just see it in people's faces and the way that they dress and the way that they look. They're not with God. And these people who went against Charlie.
Look at their eyes. You can see it in the eyes.
The posture, the eyes especially, but they're confused. These people are confused, and they don't want us to have free speech. That's why they're out there cheering on this whole thing. They want Destiny, who's like a big popular Democrat podcaster. I don't know if you heard about him. He's like a blue-haired guy.
No, I'm not aware of him.
He's
all the people.
Kind of. I've seen some of his stuff because he does make appearances on conservative podcasts, and I've seen him. He's hardcore lefty. I mean, hardcore. He's out there telling other people that they need to start killing conservatives like Charlie in their local area so that they're scared to come out and talk. They want to get rid of our free speech because we'll always win the argument. And these people are confused and they want to brainwash other people and get these other confused people to have them do harmful things as well. And so we can't be attacking people. We're not planning on attacking nobody, but I'm just letting you guys know what's going on. This is an intense time to be alive. And I never imagined it would get this bad. It's quite crazy, but I'm close to God. Alice is close to God. We try to be close to God.
We try, and I'm encouraged. I've been back about 3 years. And just in that time, I go to St. Genevieve's Church. Like, if you follow us, you already know that. But I've noticed the attendance has really gotten better.
Yeah.
And I go to, different masses. I don't always go to the same mass. But, that's a good problem to have.
It's a record breaking right now.
Those pews are full. Because when I was younger, that's how it was. All the churches were that way. But even when I was going to the Basilica, St. Mary's Basilica in Phoenix, you really didn't have a full church. And that's a huge place. It's a basilica. But still. So I'm very encouraged. And I think, as you say, it's going to bring people back to God. We have to. That's the only way.
We don't have a choice, guys. We don't have a choice.
The only way. And while we're on there, we need to fight for justice because that's what the Lord wants us to do. He really does.
Yeah. So that the second shooter, it's brutal. I think that they really want to start a civil war, and that it makes sense that they would go after Mr. Kirk because they knew it would piss us all off. But we have God. We're going to do the Jesus thing. We're not going to retaliate. We're not going to get violent. We're going to let them keep doing them. We're winning. So they want to keep burying themselves and doing the stuff they can. And they don't want a civil war, guys. They're talking about going against veterans, Navy SEALs. I'm a veteran. Like, don't push us into that corner. We don't want that. We don't want that smoke. All right. But that's what it is. Our mantra, our spirit, our ethos as Americans is to defend. We don't attack, we defend. They shot the first bullet in the Revolutionary War. We see our people get attacked. Like, you see it in the streets when Antifa is like massively outnumbering conservatives. They're like attacking a conservative protest. Antifa will attack a conservative. The conservatives, greatly outnumbered, will start defending them, and they'll leave. And that's the way we got to do it. We got to defend our people. We're not going to be the aggressors. We're not going to be on the offense. And that's the American way. So they can come at us all they want, but we will defend ourselves. And they need to know that.
So you need to know, and I'm not, a jiu-jitsu person or anything like that, but I do remember someone talking about controlling the fight. So you just can't react. And there was a gentleman, I think it happened last week, and he kind of rode his bike through a crowd that was a vigil for Charlie. And he started creating some stuff. And some guy got mad, which, the anger is there still. But the majority of the crowd, there were some men that got in like, because it's not worth it. That's what they want you to do. They want you to react and get crazy and do that. Because then you can go to jail and the right can look stupid. But we're not going to allow that to happen. I think there's enough of us that we can take care of it. And do the right thing, because just like other things that have happened, we don't react that way. We don't burn down buildings and create riots and go nuts and crazy. And I'm just going to take the opportunity because I think this is fitting. I've talked about this before, but long ago when the Tea Party was just starting up and really big, there was an event at the Capitol down in Phoenix. And it was huge. It was called Keep Their Feet to the Fire. So it was cool. Sheriff Joe was there. Russell Pierce, who's no longer with us, he was there, and we had a little booth because we had the Arizona Latino Republican Association. And there were people, they had their faces painted and they had signs calling us already back then. Okay, this is over 10 years ago, probably. They were calling us Nazis. Republicans are Nazis, blah, 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 blah. And they started up, and while the invocation was going, those people, they started making noise and just being so disrespectful. And it was horrible. It was horrible. And the next day, my neighbor comes over, and I'm sorry for repeating the story, but I think it's worth repeating. He comes over, he goes, "Oh, I watched the news last night. I know you were down there. That's terrible. Republicans were getting kind of crazy." I said, "No, you didn't watch a right representation. It wasn't the Republicans. It wasn't the right side. It was the other side that was doing that. In fact, there was a gal that was making a bunch of noise, and I just went up to her and asked her, I said, where are you from? Because it just, for some reason, didn't strike me that they were from Arizona, whatever. And I'll never forget. And at that time, we didn't have our cameras like we do now. And she says, I born here. And I'm not exaggerating. I said, okay. And then I kind of just walked away. But, they were already busting in people and things like that. It started that long ago. So now that we have all this information, we just have to do what's right and fight this, because our country is worth it. As I said, it is worth it.
Yeah, I don't get how people can think that, President Trump isn't on our side. He's in on the big cabal and all that. Because, look, obviously they didn't plan on President Trump getting in there. Look at how he's closed the border. Look how he's deporting all these people.
Yeah, why would he have closed the border so well?
All this stuff he's doing to bolster the dollar. Because the real end goal, the end game that would destroy America and the Western world permanently is to destroy the dollar. And so if Trump really wasn't on our side, he wouldn't be doing any of that. So bringing $16 trillion worth of stuff here to America. Like, come on. Like, he's on our side. He's just been inundated. I'm telling you guys, that swamp is thick. I can't even put words to it. How easy it is for people to just sell their souls for money, for power. I mean, people are just so, think about how weak everyone is these days, right? Weak time, what was it? Soft times create weak people, weak men. This is what we're dealing with, guys. So now things got so brutal. We're trying to step back in there and bring conservative values back to the populace. It's more harder than we thought, guys. It's more harder than we thought. We got to get closer to God. We got to start praying. We got to get involved. Otherwise, they can still win. We haven't won totally. We're still, they just took out Charlie Kirk, man. I mean, I hate seeing that.
He was too effective. They couldn't stand it.
Hyper effective.
And now, what did you tell me, or did someone tell me there's like 18,000 chapters that they've...
More. It went to 30,000 chapters.
It went to 30?
Yeah, 30,000 chapters.
See how quick it's moving and grooving?
Yeah, doubled their presence, yeah.
And here's the thing, and there's people on the right, too, that they're not happy with Trump. I understand that. But they're upset with him. And I'm thinking, if you think that he'd want to bring down the country, it wouldn't be to his benefit for his family and for himself and for his businesses. And unfortunately, we aren't the president, okay? We're not in his cabinet. We don't get to know all the information. I would love it. I would love to be a fly on the wall and see all this information. And maybe some of it we shouldn't know for our own protection. And but I tell you what, wouldn't you rather have Trump in there than our other choice? If Kamala was in there, can you imagine?
Well, I mean, a lot of criticism I hear now, even for people who are supposed conservatives and supposed Republicans, are like, oh, well, he haven't even seen, he's on the list, he's on the Epstein. I'm like, bro, if he was on that list, you don't think they would have used that years ago?
Absolutely.
You don't think that behavior would have been, exposed back in the 80s?
He couldn't have been elected.
No.
They would have used that.
He's not that kind of a guy. He's a power guy. When you do that stuff, you're a submissive person because you're selling your soul for power. They know they're going into those situations. I know because I read the files. These people know they're going into those situations being compromised. They're going to be filmed. They're going to be recorded. And the deal is, look, we got you. It's called blackmail. We got you. Now you got to do what we say. And they're like, okay, fine. Give me the money. Give me the power. Why would Trump, who's first of all, he's a freaking germaphobe and he's a power freak. Why? It doesn't fit his MO. It doesn't fit his MO at all.
Well, it doesn't. And he is a businessman. He is so sharp and smart. Everything that he's done, I just can't see him falling for that. I'm not saying, he's a man, he's not a saint, okay? He's not. But I think he's shrewd enough that he'd be like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm out of here. Because didn't he toss Epstein from Mar-a-Lago?
He's got to be aware of it, guys, because apparently Ivanka Trump, because look, Trump's uncle had ties to Nikola Tesla. He got Nikola Tesla's files, and he was like a hardcore MIT or Harvard grad. They're high IQ people. Apparently Ivanka Trump has access to all the UFO files that came from the Tesla files and a lot of other stuff. So Trump knew about how they use these techniques to blackmail people. He's been aware of it probably way before he ran it off. He was probably confronted with it when he first started getting close to being a billionaire. They start trying to hit you up quick, and he talks about it. He's like, I was in the club, and now they're pissed at me because I'm exposing the club. So
Remember, he was a Democrat before. He was a Democrat before.
And he talks about that. He's always a businessman. You want to get business stuff done, you got to donate to Democrat campaigns. You got to do Democrat stuff. But eventually, as you get deeper into it, you realize this is not the place you want to be. And that's what happened to him. He's a human being, guys. And we got his sign back here for a reason. Me and Alice are unless, okay, if it comes out that he's doing that stuff, I'm done, obviously.
Yeah, if something happens, and we'll tear down this sign.
Yeah, tear it down.
Or black it out or something.
I'll do
we'll put a big red line through it.
We'll go libtard. We'll burn it on camera. I mean, for real, because he's betraying us, but I just logically it doesn't make any sense at all. I think there's other reasons why he's burying the Epstein files. From what I understand, they FUBAR'd him up. So that way, if they did release him, they're going to put a bunch of other old cockamamie Russiagate stuff in there, PP-Gate stuff. And it's just going to distract the country. And it would make sense that they did that because they had the control to do that before Trump got in there. So I think for sure, eventually, when the grand jury files come out and the investigations come out, we're going to see what really happened because those testimonies, the grand jury testimonies, are really going to say it's beyond what's documented. It's what the actual witnesses are saying. When that comes out, it'll vindicate him. But for now, we have a lot of stuff on our hand, guys. He's got to go after these people that assisted and aided and abetted Charlie Kirk. We've got local elections coming up soon. There's so much for us to do. I mean, wow, Alice, what else you got thinking?
There really is. And the search for truth is hard, but you got to keep searching for it because that's the only way. Because we'll be told so many things. And sometimes I just burn out. I don't know if that happens to you.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I got to just shut it off and I go watch
all the
an
time.
old sitcom or something because that's the way to clear my mind. Don't let yourself go crazy and nuts. We have to, and keep focused. Kind of try to figure out, if you can, this is what I've been trying to do. Both Mark and I, my husband and I, you figure out where will you be most productive is actually the better word, most productive. And that's why we do the show, because we feel we can get out. Because here in our little Las Cruces, we just don't have enough information that comes out on local politics. And if there's a candidate that you can help, okay? If there's a candidate you can help, however, send them $10, go walk your neighborhood for them. You know what you could do if you wanted? And I do this with some people. Like the link for her interview, you can take it and maybe say, oh, you know what? So-and-so, they live in her district. Or my friend has thousands and millions and billions of dollars. Maybe send some money. Send them the link and say, hey, listen to this interview. Maybe you'll like her and help her out. Because it starts at the bottom. We've got to get our schools taken care of, our public schools, because not every kid, bless their heart, can go to a charter school or the parents can't. So this is very important. And I hope that you were able to tune into that last interview we did with her. And she tells you she's got a story we didn't even get into. We will at some point. But she's a very good candidate, along with Rick Renaud, who's running for city council, and also for Ronnie Cisneros, who's running for city council. The other school board candidate is Natalie Chadburn.
That's right.
But at least we have 4 good candidates, and I really believe that I think they can get in. I do. I feel in my heart we can, but we have to work on it.
Well, the Democrats are having a hard time raising money. The poll numbers are bottom on the floor right now. It's going to continue to get worse. They're going to keep making. They're already outwardly calling for a bloody civil war.
How would you defend that if you're part of that party? How do you defend being a member of it?
The party of tolerance, my foot. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what that party is about. It's not what it represents. Maybe it used to. I wasn't around when it did. When I got around 2017, it didn't represent it even then.
JFK would not be. He would not. That's why RFK. Is RFK
our founding
independent?
fathers, the spit in the face of our founding fathers, they did not want that. Although they did say that if the government goes rogue in our Declaration of Independence, that we need to get rid of that government, make a new one. And so if Trump didn't get in there, I'd say, okay, let's crack open the dang glass safe and get this thing reinvented. But President Trump's in there, and he's championing the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and our civil liberties. So we got to run with it, what we got. And I can't stand how things are just getting so violent. I've never imagined. I just had a funeral recently. There was a little young girl got shot in the head. We're now deemed, New Mexico is now deemed the most violent country, the most dangerous. I'm sorry, New Mexico is now the most dangerous state in the country. We've got double the amount of gun-related deaths than any other state in the country, and we have a very high degree of road fatalities, street fatalities.
It's terrible. That's that survey.
That was that survey that came out, and I'd be willing to bet if we look into where those gun violence are coming from, it's probably from Albuquerque with all the drugs, and it's probably from a lot of illegals.
The border, yeah. I mean, we are very, very close to the border. We're a small state, and then we don't keep the criminals. We just let them go. A lot of times, the judges.
That's right. Let them ride out. And we see what happens when you let them ride out. They go and do it again.
They stay here. And the other person, you know, I know you follow him too, Nino Rodriguez. Is he based in El Paso?
He's in El Paso, yeah.
And, you know, I've subscribed to him, and he's saying some very interesting stuff. And I think he's on target most of the time.
He's nailing it.
The only reason I will say he's not all the time, because I don't know enough to judge it. But, man, he's been there for a long time and lived in the border. We lived in El Paso for a while. You know, Mark's from El Paso.
That's right.
And it's people don't understand how close we are. And I'll tell you why. We were taking one of my sister's friends to the airport the other weekend, and this person said, "Oh, you know," because we're driving right into El Paso. I understand, you know, we're close to the border. And I said, "Yeah, look out the window. There it is, right there." Because you know, we're on the highway. And really, because now, and it looks a lot nicer now. When I lived there back in the '80s, it didn't look very nice. Now, at least, it looks like they have indoor plumbing and things like that. But we are right here. The border is right, very, very close to us. And that's El Paso, okay? So still New Mexico has a big chunk of land right next to the border as well.
Yeah, we deal with gang violence. We deal with drug cartels. We deal with local gang young members. That's the big problem we're having right now with the teenage violence. We need to start doing more for those guys. We got a lot going on here, guys. This state is in shambles, and they marked this state to be worse than California, it seems like. I mean, then they just keep going with the plans that they had in case, if Kamala Harris would have won, New Mexico would have done the same thing they're doing right now. We're losing a lot of stuff right now, guys. We're under attack in so many different ways. And it's not scary to me. I'm not afraid. I just want to tell as many people as I can so we can start working together and peacefully get through this. I don't want any violence.
You can't. I refuse to be a prisoner in my own home.
No.
I mean, what are you going to do? It wouldn't be worth living. And I really think a lot of it's attributable. It's a very small populated state. We only have 2.2 million people in the entire state. Maricopa County in Phoenix area, I think it's about 4.5 million people. And that county's probably, I'm guessing it's close geographically to Doña Ana as well. Doña Ana has about 250,000, and I think our
No, like 200.
200,000.
200, yeah.
And so our population in Las Cruces is 115,000. But you know, we're very vulnerable. We really are. But at the same time, I think you could take that and turn it around and use that as a weapon, because if you have a smaller amount of people, then you don't have to reach that many voters. I mean, get the voters to turn out and get these people elected. And Republicans, independents, and conservative Democrats got to get out, man. Got to get out.
I'm confident. I've seen the gubernatorial elections. I've been part of races. Like, there's a lot more of us than them. They get propped up by the mail-in ballots. They get propped up with the illegals voting, and that's just what it is, guys. There is way more of us than them, and I know that for a fact. And this next gubernatorial election is going to be a big deal. And on that note, Deb Haaland is massively ahead of all the other Democrat campaigns for governor. Massively. I mean, she's got, like, they did a poll recently. Someone sent me another Republican gubernatorial candidate that I'm not at liberty to say yet, but he's a Tell us. It's a damn good candidate, and this is going to win. Okay, I'll tell you that right now.
He's not even saying if it's a man or woman. That's how secretive. You're good at your vault. Yeah.
It is going. I kind of slipped on earlier, but it's going to win, and it sent me a poll on the gubernatorial candidates for the Democrat Party, and Deb Haaland is way ahead. And I'm like, dude, Deb Haaland, she's the worst. She's disgusting. We cannot.
Like, is that all they got?
That's all they got. It's her. Sam Brigman's way below her. Sam Brigman.
Oh, is that right?
But why would we get a Democrat district attorney from Albuquerque who's been proven to be the absolute worst for crime, probably in the country, probably the worst DA for crime in the U.S. of A? Because look at Albuquerque. They made a movie out of our meth problem. They made a show out of it.
Yeah. Breaking Bad.
So why would we get that dude in there?
Well, look at the governor we have now. It's unbelievable.
Lord.
I can't believe that she's in. Somebody who grabbed her staff, a gay person's crotch, right? And
I can one up that.
Reelected.
I can one up that with her now.
Yeah.
She's a gay man. He was a gay man, grabbed his crotch.
Right.
Now I heard recently, and I maybe I should verify this first, but I heard recently, rumor around the mills, that she's worth $200 million now.
Wow.
The salary of a governor. So our city manager gets paid more than our governor does, guys. In case you didn't know that. Our city manager makes over $210,000 a year. Okay. Our governor, I think, is like $160,000 or $170,000 a year. But she's worth $200 million all of a sudden. I'm going to verify that. But if that's the case, let's just call her Michelle Pelosi, because that's the same situation with Nancy Pelosi. That gal's almost $1 billion. That gal's worth over $100 million.
It's going to be
or
2
closer
terms.
than that.
What's 8? So 8 years. Actually, it's only 7 years at this point,
Yeah.
and $200 million. That's a lot of money.
So at most, she'll have $1.4 million If she lived, it'd be way less than that.
You're saying that the rumor is 200
That's
million?
the rumor, and I'm even mentioning it because it's plausible because of Nancy Pelosi and other congressional candidates that have the same issue. Elon Musk has been very outspoken about that. How are we going to have someone in Congress that makes $200,000 a year worth net 50, 100, 200 plus $1 million? Makes 0 sense at all.
So if there's anybody out there that can verify that for us, please.
Please look into it.
Let us know.
I'll know by the time the next show comes up.
Yeah, that's the first that I've heard of that. But the way things have been going, you know what's bad? Okay, here's the bad thing is, years ago I might say, oh, come on, that's too much, Zeke. But anymore, we don't. We don't because we've seen too much of that already.
That's why I mentioned it, because it could be wrong, but at the same time, look at what we've been faced with already all these years. The corruption, guys, this state is so bad. I mean, it's like it's cops, it's judges, it's elected officials. They are all in on it.
Zeke, I have to ask you, is there any update with Judge Cano?
No, he hasn't been indicted yet. And another reason I'm pretty pissed off at our Attorney General there, Pam Bondi. I just don't think she's doing a good enough job.
So the feds have to indict him.
Fed's got to indict him, and he hasn't been indicted yet. And Pam Bondi, apparently, the word around the mill is from a source from D.C. that she's super lazy. She's super lazy. And a lot of the Rhino Republicans, what they do, they kill us by inaction. You know what I'm saying? They don't do anything. And I feel like that's what she's doing right now. And same thing with Kash Patel. It doesn't seem like he has control of the FBI. Doesn't seem like he has full control.
I wanna give them the benefit of the doubt because it's a big, deep swamp. And they haven't been in there, what? This is September, so 8 months.
8 months.
Like
That's not too bad. I mean,
but the got to start kicking in because it's going to be a year already, and you don't want to lose the support and the faith of people. You got to dance with the ones who bring you.
So that being said, Trolls approval ratings are way up right now. So people are still supporting President Trump right now. However, General Flynn has come out and said recently that if the FBI and Pam Bondi don't start kicking doors in soon, people who've broken the law, they deserve to have their door kicked in. If they don't start doing it soon, they're going to make a task force that General Flynn's going to be ahead of, and they're going to start doing this stuff themselves. And they're going to fire Pam Bondi.
What do you mean they're going to start doing this stuff themselves?
If the FBI and the Department of Justice will not prosecute the people that need to be prosecuted yesterday, like soon, they're going to make their own task force, put General Flynn at the top of it, and they're going to start prosecuting people and doing and arresting these people themselves.
So kind of just doing it on their own personally.
Yeah, and they're going to fire Pam Bondi and fire Kash Patel and get someone in there who's got some balls. That came from General Flynn today.
And who would you put in there?
General Flynn.
General Flynn.
Yep.
And for Pam Bondi and Kash Patel?
So for the task force, I'd put General Flynn, but Pam Bondi and Pam Bondi, I'd put Matt Gaetz in there. Get Matt Gaetz up in there.
Now, remember that Bongino was like, hey, Bondi's got to be out of there or I'm out of there. And so maybe he's decided, okay, they haven't made her leave, but he wants to stay in there because I have a lot of faith in Bongino. I listened to him. Did you listen to his podcast ever? I think
I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a big fan. I don't know why I never got into him too much. I mean, I like him, but I just never heard a full of his show. I never heard a full show.
But wow, like I said, I just would love to be a fly on the wall for all these little offices. They're not little offices for the big offices and see what's really going on. So what other, you have any other, I know you are so good. You listen to Alex Jones and all those guys. The Prather Point, I started listening to him this last show. So I recommend that too. So I didn't listen to the whole thing. So I don't want to, I want to wait and make sure I have the whole story. But Jeff Prather, that's the Prather Point. You can find him on Rumble, and he still has really good sources. One of his shows recently, he was on with Mike Adams. And Mike Adams, like if I didn't talk earlier about it before, because he said he's not ready to throw Trump under the bus. So I'm just waiting. I'm trying to keep an open mind and get as much information as possible. And I know you're very good at that too. But I like what you said about our sign back there.
President Trump is I think he's doing a good job. He needs to start kicking doors in ASAP, or I'm going to start getting pissed off myself. We got local races coming up. We got a registered Republican. Scott Presler's coming here to New Mexico here in November.
Is he coming?
Coming in November.
Yeah.
He's coming in November.
The election, I hope?
No, after the election. He's coming in November. He's going to come in November. So politically, there's lots of stuff to do, guys. There's a lot of stuff to do spiritually. We all got to start cleaning up our spirits, praying more, fasting more. I'm a big proponent of fasting because it's a spiritual battle. And if you really want to get into a spiritual battle, what the Bible teaches you is that fasting is like one of the only ways that you can save your city. It's the only way you can cleanse demons out of your.
You're good about that too, huh?
Hey,
Like, what's the longest you've ever fasted?
I have said before that I've done 3 days, no food, no water.
No food, no water. I mean, I could see, okay, maybe
3
no
days.
food, but no water?
3 days, no food, no water. Yeah. It
Was your mind like, getting all crazy?
yeah, it was more of like a psychedelic experience. By the third day, you really don't know where you are. You're not yourself because you're just, whatever you're dealing with in your spirit and your past childhood trauma or your current trauma, it comes right up. And I was crying a lot, honestly. And then by the end of the third day, because here's the thing, is evolutionarily, if you haven't eaten for 3 days, your biology starts kicking in and says, hey, you better eat and drink now or you're going to die. So what it does is it kicks in a ton of positive chemicals like adrenaline and dopamine and serotonin and all this stuff. So I actually went on a 3-mile run at the very end of my 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, because I didn't know, I had so much energy. I didn't know what to do. My veins were bulging. So I went on a 3-mile run after 3 days of no food, no water.
Didn't God give us an amazing instrument, our body? What happened? I mean, you'd think that you just, boom, you'd knock out.
It was crazy. I was a berserker. I mean, I was, I couldn't do anything but run. That's all I could do.
Wow. That's a good story.
And a clear-headed run too. I was actually running on adrenaline, so it was like real focused. It was a good run. but yeah, so I plan on doing it again. I just try to put that out there because I'm getting more spiritual, like we said. I mean, me and Alice is already very spiritual. I mean, you're like the hardcorest church girl I know.
Oh, really? Well, I'm not that great.
You're just short of being a nun. Just short of being a nun.
Oh, that's sweet of you. I just try, but believe me, I have a long way to go. But I don't want to forget to announce this too, because you'll probably get this thing uploaded pretty quick today, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it done as soon as we get.
Okay.
Done.
So if you are in the area on Thursday, September 18th, we're going to have a Las Cruces Public School Board candidate town hall meeting. That's the CCI is going to do that, Coalition of Conservatives in Action. It's going to be at the Desert Oasis Church, and it starts at 6 p.m. So go there. It's very close to the Cracker Barrel, and that's, I think, 1640. I hope I'm giving the address out right. 1640 Hickory Loop, Suite 101. And then also, just put this on your calendar too, October 2nd, there's a city council candidate town hall meeting, same people, okay, CCIA, Coalition of Conservatives in Action, but that one's going to be at the Mountain View Christian Church. You've been there. That's on Three Crosses, and that's going to be 6 p.m. So we'll keep you posted on all these things. My Women's Club, Doña County Federated Republican Women, the last Friday of this month, we're going to have a lot of candidates. Rick's going to come speak, and Christina is too. So if you're a Republican, contact me and we'll get you in there. You can go, you can have lunch, pay for lunch, or you can just attend. It's at the Lutheran Church over there on Elks Drive. And the way I talk, some of you are watching and you're not in Las Cruces, but Las Cruces is a little enough town that I just say, oh, it's right here by the Kitchen Craft. You know where it is because you live in Las Cruces, and it's kind of a Mayberry-ish type of thing. But, you can go and at least, and CCI now, what they are doing, they're live streaming pretty much, but I don't know if they're going to be doing that with the town halls. So you might, if you can't make it there physically, maybe, you can watch it online. We'll keep you posted on that. But even if you can't do stuff, because people work, I understand, you have families, but if you can at least get information and stay informed, then that gives you a lot of knowledge and ammo, okay? So when you talk to somebody and they're like, well, this person, no, let me tell you what this person really is about. So I encourage you to do that. What other advice, because you're really good, you've been a very active Republican down here. I've only been back 3 years. But what other advice can you give to people out there?
So here it is. I'm going to give you politics 101, all right? The Republican Party, for the most part, sucks, all right? I mean, that's why Turning Point USA was so important. Trump was his own thing. He had his own brand, and he infiltrated the Republican Party. So it was only when President Trump got involved and got some power that the Republican Party started to do some stuff. And I'm grateful for the Republican Party. I'm grateful for, certain people that are in there, and it's cool that it's there, obviously, because we got President Trump in there. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, without throwing the Republican Party under the bus so hard, is that what it really boils down to is the grassroots movement and good candidates. Because so politics is downstream from the culture, all right? So the Republican Party is only as good as the culture. I guess that's a better way to say it.
That's a great way to say it.
So if you want to get involved and you don't have time, you don't know how, but you have some money, invest in a local candidate because they are essentially who the future of the Republican Party is. That's what happened to Yvette Herrell. I remember when she ran, the Republicans primaried her, even though she was clearly the best, the most articulate, the smartest, the most proven. But they, for whatever reason, primaried. And I was offended by that because I love Yvette Herrell.
Yeah, I can't even imagine they would primary her.
And then when she won, they're like, oh, hey, how you doing, ma'am? Great to have you. So you see, that's a direct example of how the community, how the culture dictates where the Republican Party, where politics goes. So if you really want to get involved, you don't have time, but you have some money, or you really want to see some change, find a local candidate. Because even if they don't win, they still mold, like me, they still mold the Republican Party the way I have. And I'm not trying to say I'm like crazy, but it did, because of the support that I got running as lieutenant governor, running for state rep. I've been able to get involved and significantly influence the local Republican Party and the state Republican Party. And I say that proudly because I'm championing the president's values. I'm championing Christian populist values. The 80-20 stuff, that's us. So when you ever see Republicans not getting on the 80-20 side, that's a big problem. The best way to combat it is to get behind a candidate, either gubernatorial, city council member, school board member, Christina Moore here. Invest in them, support them, because they are the ones that shape the future of the Republican Party, straight up.
And I think when you really start thinking about it, and I know I've talked about this before because I have run for office, but if you can't run for office, there are a lot of things you can do. Because you can support the candidate, just get informed. You can talk to your neighbors. You can educate people that, don't pay attention to politics. And that's one thing, the Gutfeld guest that I was telling you about, the Green Beret. Yeah. Pay attention. Pay attention. And that it'll be phenomenal. You'll understand, wow, I didn't know that. And then find people that you can trust and ask them. If you have a political question, Zeke's been around for a long time here locally. He's my go-to guy. There's a lot of people that I ask that because I've met them and they know the history of Las Cruces, political history. Because unfortunately, I'm not your person because I've only been back about 3 years. You could probably ask me more. I know more about Arizona than New Mexico, but I'm still learning. And do that. We can learn together. I can't encourage everybody enough. And this is a really good community. There's still so many wonderful, good people here. I know because some of them I grew up with too. And a lot of them are my family.
And there's people leaving too, unfortunately. Some really good people I've seen been leaving. So we got to get more people involved.
Don't leave, stay.
FRW is a great organization. The Dodiana Republican Party is a good organization. The CCI is a great organization. Or just get involved with a candidate, support a candidate. You'll do a lot of damage. You'll do more damage supporting a candidate right now than anything else. I'll tell you that, guys, right now. That's just how I just share with you guys what nobody wants you to know, that the real power is in supporting and championing candidates that support your values, that are there for your values. That's where the real power, that's how Trump won. They didn't get behind the party. They got behind President Trump, and then everything fell out of the wayside from there. So that's what we got to do here locally. It's the same thing. And that's what I'm doing. Shoot.
I have to ask you, so with the murder, it was a murder of Charlie Kirk. He was so good about getting more young people involved. How is that movement going on down here at NMSU and locally? Do you know?
Not that good because we didn't have a vigil down there.
There wasn't a vigil?
UNM had a huge vigil the other day, massive. And we didn't even have one over there. And because
he went to Albuquerque, didn't he? Didn't Charlie Kirk go to Albuquerque?
No, we had the other transgender guy. Not
Scott Pressler?
No, not transgender guy, but Matt
Walsh?
Matt Walsh. We had Matt Walsh there. Who was Turning Point. That was Turning Point.
Oh, he was representing Turning Point.
That was Turning Point.
I don't know why.
Was it Turning Point?
I'm
pretty sure he was representing
Charlie
Turning Point.
Kirk went more recently to Albuquerque for something, or Santa Fe.
No, NMSU's always been tough, and NMSU's infiltrated the Board of Regents there. It's tough. They're super commie over there. I'm just saying that because I've been attacked by them myself, so I can say that I know from firsthand experience.
We need to go visit our old campus, don't you think?
I should go pull a Charlie Kirk down there.
Well, I was just going to say that. I mean, I've told you before.
They don't want to get on film them shooting a Republican Mexican. They don't want to see that.
Well, maybe that's more reason to do it.
They don't want that. The whole thing with Charlie is that because he was white. They really wanted to see a white guy. They've really done the programming against white people. Black people hate white people hate white people. But if they got a conservative like me down there pulling a Charlie Kirk, I don't feel that in danger. I don't think that they're going to really benefit from taking me out. I mean, if they do, it's going to piss off all the other Hispanics and all the other black people that identify with me as a conservative, and then it's going to galvanize people. So I'll go down there and hang out. I'll pull Charlie Kirk. Whatever you want me to do. Look, people have been calling me for years and telling me to do the same thing. Yeah. They'll be like, Zeke, you do great. Go to UNM, go to MSU.
You're a great debater. You really are. I've seen him when he ran for office.
I'm not as soft as Charlie.
Well, yeah, who is? Nobody is.
He was beautiful. It was beautiful to say. I'm not saying he's a beautiful man. His style was beautiful. He was so smooth with it. He was just so calm.
I would start yelling at the people in the screen. I'm like,
yeah, she would. And I've seen her upset. She does get like that.
But he always kept his cool. I think he could do it.
I might go down there and give it a whirl.
Do they have a club down there, like a political Republican club?
No.
We don't do enough outreach either there.
They don't have
and that's what it could be started as. as political outreach. They've got to have a political science
Well,
department.
Turning Point had a strong presence in Albuquerque. Why they didn't have one here, I don't know, because theoretically UNM is more Marxist than NMSU or more, Antifa really. So for whatever reason, they had more investment and more presence of Turning Point in Albuquerque, and I think that's why they had that bigger vigil there. So for however we can, we need to get a Turning Point down here at NMSU and ride that till the cows come home, because that's where a lot of the issues with the voting that we had in the last election, they happened over there at the NMSU campus. So
that's right.
yeah, they found a bunch of extra ballots in there and stuff, and this is all alleged. But hey, look, our county clerk has not been able to count the ballots on the election day for years. All right, so that's a big problem that we're working with right now. I hope they catch them. Hope they bust them. Things are going to be moving fast right here. One thing that Nino Rodriguez did say that has been stuck with me. It's about 3 weeks ago. He said this. He's like, "Look, guys, this is what the Bible's been talking about. This is what all the ancients have been talking about. We got a 10-year window between now and 2035, basically 2035, that things are just going to be unbelievable. Just so much change is going to happen, and I see it already.
Oh yeah, well, especially the correlation to the window he's talking about, AI.
AI, man."
I'm still freaking out about that.
It's crazy. I'm taking an AI class right now. I'll be AI certified here in the next few months. And every single class I take, it's like, it is. I mean, I'll tell you right now, mark these words. A year from today, everything is going to be completely different.
1 year?
A year from today. That's how crazy the AI is. Like, that's how it's insane. We're going to be replacing customer service jobs. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. And it's already started. I already see people doing it. So a year from today, you're going to see massive changes of consciousness and the community.
And it's affected me in that now when I see, different video and things on social media or whatever, I don't immediately accept them because there's so much, they can do
I don't believe it.
Such great things.
It's AI.
Even us, they could take care of us. That's why I would recommend if you do an interview with anybody or anything on film, record it and keep a copy yourself if you can, because who knows what they're going to do. If they find out and they want to use something against you, it's really frightening. It's like I've said before, I respect it and I'm amazed by it, but I'm also freaked out about it, man.
And in the spirit of Charlie Kirk, they are doing a huge data center down there in Santa Teresa. They're having big problems with. It's like a $180 billion project or something like that. And they're having big problems with it because apparently it's really bad for people's health, the water. They're going to get water in from some other place that they won't tell us. The board members that are owning it, they're non-disclosed. There's a lot of shady stuff going on all around us, guys, with this AI. And hey,
is Santa Teresa still Doña Ana County?
Yeah, it is. It is. Sunland Park, Santa Teresa is all Doña Ana.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then also, and when you go vote in November here, we have the GO bond that's the county is trying to pass. The county commission is trying to pass, which I'm going to vote against.
It's going to go through, but hopefully not.
But at least, okay, I'm going to say, well, whatever. No, go ahead, show up and vote. And so, okay, we lose. But wouldn't it be nice to at least lose, 51 to 49% or something?
I have a feeling something's going to happen. I have a feeling something big's going to happen. Something big, something good. I mean, they can't just take this on the chin with Charlie and everything that's going on. I mean, and Elon Musk is furious. He's already lost one of his kids. I think they gender reassigned one of his sons, I think.
I haven't even kept up with Elon Musk stuff.
No, he was over there in England. They had a huge, Tommy Robinson had a huge, was it 2 million? I think it was at least 1 million people protest in England for Charlie Kirk.
Oh, I did see that on video.
And Elon showed up via over the web, over the internet on a teleconference. And he was basically saying, like, look, we got to push back. We got to defend ourselves. This is now or never.
UK's a mess.
He's pushing back hard, and we've invested a lot in America ourselves, and he's invested a lot in America. So,
and I did hear too. Was it last week or so? So he was the richest man in the world. Now there's somebody else that surpassed him.
Yeah, but it's all. But
they're just
the real richest person.
They still have a lot of money.
The real richest person, they don't even disclose.
Probably so.
It's the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. I mean, those guys are worth multi-trillions of dollars. BlackRock, it's like Blackstone. They're all the same. They all have way more money than Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is probably laughing like, bro, I got stuff hidden away. You don't even know how rich I am, bro. That's how most rich guys are. They're like, you don't even know.
Why would you want to tell everybody all your money? That's true.
He probably let go of the title. Like Bill Gates let go of the title of the richest guy in the world. That's a hard title to hold. I wouldn't want to hold that title either.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Shoot.
And the target from so many places too on your back as well.
It's smart for him to just forego it, I think. I mean, just let it go. I wouldn't want to. You don't want that title. You got enough problems, Dougie.
That is the truth. Okay, so what have we not covered, Mr. Zekanator?
I think that was pretty much it. We're coming up on our hour now.
Yeah.
I just want to end on this, is that this time on this earth is very short. You can't take your material possessions with you. You can't take your house. You can't take your car. You can't take your favorite video game. You can't take anything. But what you can take is your soul. And if you really want to defend God and you want to get into heaven, you got to start spreading the word. You got to start getting involved. God hates cowards. So if you're a person of God and you're listening to this, get involved. Non-violently, of course. Right. But this is your time to shine as a Christian, as a person of God. This is your time right now. We need the help right now, guys. I'm telling you firsthand, we need the help. And we're doing what we can, but it's always power in numbers. Group prayer, whatever you can do, donate to these campaigns. This is the time to do it. And this is the fastest way to do it, is to get involved with the local politician, just like I was saying. Other than that, Alice, you want to end on any words?
Yeah, I just ditto to everything that Zeke said. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us through Facebook, or, my email is very easy, alicelada@hotmail.com. And if we don't get back to you right away, it's just because there's a lot of traffic through those venues. But we can't thank you enough for following us and sharing this. And did you, I think we're going to start getting uploaded on Rumble too, right?
Yeah, I'm working on that. It's going to happen very soon here. Okay. So just, bear with me. But for sure it's on YouTube. We'll be getting on Rumble real soon. I'll still be putting clips out. A lot of things happen for us. I mean, we're definitely heading in the right direction.
We don't get paid to do this, but we just do it. It's a big community service, and we just feel so strongly about it. And I'm just so grateful that I got a good partner here, Mr. Zeke.
Not yet.
Thank you.
Not getting paid yet. But if you do want to do a podcast, we do have a studio. You got your own personal podcast. You want to do a political podcast, a business podcast, whatever. We can facilitate that. We can negotiate that. We can, if you're interested in that, you can reach out to us on the show, on DMs, or reach out to Alice or me directly, and we can figure something out, get you a price so you can get your podcast going as well too, because this is for the community, guys.
Exactly.
So let's end on prayer. Lord, thank you again for giving me and Alice opportunity to spread the word, to update the local community on what's happening, Lord. And I just pray for Charlie Kirk and his family, Lord. And we know he's there with you, Lord. And we pray that he inspires other people to step up and to be courageous and do the same thing that he was doing in championing righteousness, Lord, and defending the children and defending the rights of us that was bestowed upon us by you, Lord. And we pray that we can turn this whole thing around, Lord. We can peacefully, with the Constitution, bring this country back, bring our city back, bring our community back. And I just pray that you continue to bring us together peacefully, and so that we can get through these tough times that we're about to embark on, Lord. And again, as always, so grateful for all the opportunities and everything that you've given to us thus far. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Nicely done as always.
Okay.
You can start doing the sign of the cross.
Sign of the cross. I forgot to start sign of the cross. You're right. She's on top of that. I got to give me some holy water too. I'll feel better if I have some holy water laying around somewhere that I can just use.
We'll get some.
Yeah.
We'll get
Start blessing.
You know what? It would be nice to have some here. That's true. That's a good idea.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We love you guys.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Later, guys.